one tenant nine calling, they complain say they contribute money for light. So before you go know, all of them contribute the money, carry give oga landlord. So we did a twinkle of an eye where they won't come go pay the NEPA money. The landlord don't chop the money. He can't remain 15,000 inside 200,000. Landlord they don't spend that money, he remain 15,000. So tenant will come say, landlord, this is unfair. Why will it be so? Now give them quick notice. He serve them quick notice. They come beg and beg and beg and after serious begging, he can say, okay, I forgive you now. This matter now, 3 months. And the begging continue. So after the 3 months, they come pay house rent. So this time around she travel, nine landlord call am, tell her say you are quitting the house. Meanwhile, say the 3 months say need to pay. Before you know, say another person come call and say in from human rights. Say in get 3 months to quit the house, number one. Then number two, say before you go quit, say you need to pay the 3 months quit notice when them first give am before he go come out. So
what the law says. In fact, there's a Supreme Court case that says if a landlord does not comply with the provisions with the proceedings of this law, that means he cannot maintain an action against such a tenant.
okay.
Section 8 talks about the obligations of tenant of landlords to tenants, and it says in the absence of any agreement that the landlord has the exclusive and natural right to maintain repairs. I know it might sound unfair, but that's what the law says.
Now the wonderful moment we all of us be done they wait for, and we did very very sorry. Say we keep on till this moment they expected because of plenty call and message yourself we don't fool everywhere. This now it concern me on top Rainbow 94.1. Of course, today we talk and say now tenants get to know your right. Tenants for knowing right, so that the landlord no go use them or do anyhow for house, because get out of my house you know be get out of the world. And today I be not telling I say I go bring law practitioners to them and people with the chocolate on top landlord and tenant to them so that they go educate us on plenty things. Today I go all right. By my left hand side I get here the oga matter oga pata with the chukum out for the matter. Oga me I beg you tell them your name and make you for introducing yourself.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Nigerians. My name is David Lucky Onyeso. I'm from the Eastern Extraction, particularly from Imo State.
All right. By my right hand side.
All right. Thank you for having me. My name is Anthony Chideburi Georges.
One tenant nine calling, they complain say they contribute money for light. So before you go know, all of them contribute the money, carry give oga landlord. So we did a twinkle of an eye where they won't come go pay the NEPA money. The landlord don't chop the money. He can't remain 15,000 inside 200,000. Landlord they don't spend that money, he remain 15,000. So tenants will come say, landlord, this is unfair. Why will it be so? Now give them quick notice. He serve them quick notice. They come beg and beg and beg and after serious begging, he can say, okay, I forgive you now. This matter now 3 months. And the begging continue. So after the 3 months, they come pay house rent. So this time around she travel, nine landlord call am, tell her say you are quitting the house. Meanwhile, say the 3 months say need to pay. Before you know, say another person come call and say in from human rights. Say in get 3 months to quit the house, number one. Then number two, say before you go quit, say you need to pay the 3 months quit notice when them first give am before he go come out. So
the issue of human rights, it is so sad because I'm so sure that the person who made that call stating that he is calling from or she is calling from the Human Rights Commission perhaps maybe an impostor.
Sure.
Because if you look at from my years of experience, the responsibility of human rights does not involve themselves in tenancy matter.
okay.
They only come in when someone's fundamental right has been breached, and most times it's always against a superior power, maybe the government or someone who holds a political position, and the other person cannot fight for his right or for public interest. But in this case, I find it quite unfortunate that someone could go that low to to impose himself as a personnel of that commission, perhaps. So I just feel the appropriate authority should look into it and to verify if indeed that call, instructing that tenant to leave the premises which he or she resides is actually coming from the Human Rights Commission, because I'm so sure that is not part of their responsibility.
All right, thank you very much. So from my father angle, so what's your own point of view on this, so that I'll open the phone line for listeners to throw in their questions, because plenty of people get questions for us today.
Yes.
All right.
Well, I don't have much to say because David has he has said everything on my mind.
Okay.
But in addition to what he has said, the provisions of the law, the Lagos State Tenancy Law,
Okay.
does not only require you to issue out a written notice to quit, it also requires you to serve it. There has to be a service, and the service has to be personal if it is a residential premise.
Okay.
If it's also a business premise, the service has to also be personal.
That when you still have a subsisting tenancy with the landlord, now the law will look at, okay, if the landlord is issuing you a notice to quit, the rent you paid, when is it expiring? Now that is December, right?
Okay.
The landlord is issuing me a notice to quit. Let's say this August. Let's say beginning of August. Then maybe August. What do they call it? September, October, November, December. These 4 months, I will not pay anything because my rent is still subsisting.
Okay.
Now, if I'm to leave after 6 months, it is that January and February I will pay. Then that does not stop there. Even after the 6 months expires, the landlord is expected to serve the tenant again a 7 days notice of owner's intention to recover possession.
Okay.
He must comply with this law stricto sensus. That is what the law says. In fact, there is a Supreme Court case that says if a landlord does not comply with the provisions, with the proceedings of this law, that means he cannot maintain an action against such a tenant.
Okay.
Meaning, after he issued the tenant a notice to quit, he still has to issue him a 7 days owner intention to recover property. That is after the 6 months has expired. Then before he will now go to court to maintain an action against the tenant. That is to recover or to wrestle possession from him. If he doesn't do that, his action will be incompetent. And again, let me quickly say that will not depend if, for instance, so many persons, they don't know their status as a tenant.
Sure.
Some persons, they are staying there as a licensee. And these notices, they vary. Some they are just trespasser. Some they are tenant at will. All these things vary. So if you are a licensee and you are expecting 6 months, I think you are just chasing a wild goose chase, because you cannot benefit from this provision, because the law has made it clear a licensee is only entitled to what? I think it's 7 days. 7 days, because in fact he cannot even maintain an action against the landlord, because in law, in quotes, he is not a tenant, so he cannot enjoy from those rights that the tenant has.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
So it should depend on the status of that tenant, and if it's a tenant at will, the law even states that he is only entitled, I think it's 1 week. 1 week notice.
So another one is here, very, very important. Why do landlords sell their house when their tenants are still living inside and they demand for quit notice?
Okay.
So tenants are still living there, landlord will sell the house, and before you know, somebody will just come and say, leave the house, just like that.
So section 8 talks about the obligations of landlords to tenants, and it says, in the absence of any agreement, that the landlord has the exclusive and natural right to maintain repairs. I know it might sound unfair, but that's what the law says and what it provides.
Okay.
So any provision in terms of the tenancy agreement the landlord has the natural right to effect repairs, to make repairs on the property, and to pay existing charges and rates.
Okay.
So that means it's the landlord's
Right,
right
exclusive right, except
to fix the roof,
Yes.
or any, let's say, damages,
damages.
because the tenant is paying for it. Okay.
except the agreement, except the provisions in the agreement in that regard.
Okay. Let me quickly add